The Retro Football League presents The Extra Point. Powered by Wolverine Studios Draft Day Sports Pro Football. It's time to take the field. What are you bringing to the table? And now, for our host, Lance McAllister.
Ladies and gentlemen, football fanatics near and far, welcome to a brand new episode of The Extra Point. I'm your host, Lance McAllister, and I'm thrilled to be your guide through the exhilarating world of RFL playoff action. The wildcards have been drawn, and the gridiron battles of last week did not disappoint. From thrilling last-minute touchdowns to heart-stopping goal line stands, we witnessed the drama that makes playoff football the heart and soul of America. The roar of the crowd, the crunch of shoulder pads, and the taste of victory or defeat, all woven into the fabric of the game we love. First, let's take a look at the two intense wildcard matchups. In the showdown between the New York Giants and the Detroit Lions, the Giants dominated with a commanding victory of 51-17. Wide receiver Gene Washington stole the spotlight as the offensive player of the game, exhibiting his versatility with 65 receiving yards, 2 catches, and an astonishing 90 rushing yards on 90 attempts. But it wasn't just offense that shone. Linebacker Jeff Seaman stood out on defense, making his presence felt with 5 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 2 interceptions, and even a defensive touchdown. The game's quarters unfolded as follows. The Lions secured 3 points in the first quarter, only to be overshadowed by the Giants' 7 points. As the game progressed, the Giants maintained their lead with 10 and 13 points in the second and third quarters respectively. The final quarter saw a flurry of action from both sides, but the Giants pulled ahead with an impressive 21 points. When we break down the game summary, the Giants showcased their dominance, amassing a total of 508 yards compared to the Lions' 408. Quarterback play was crucial, with the Giants throwing for 222 yards and the Lions responding with 290 yards. The ground game was a key factor as well, with the Giants rushing for an impressive 286 yards against the Lions' 118. The Giants controlled the time of possession, holding the ball for 34 minutes compared to the Lions' 25 minutes. However, the Lions struggled in the turnover battle, throwing 4 interceptions compared to the Giants' 0, though both teams lost a fumble. The Giants' defense was relentless, sacking the Lions' quarterback twice while remaining sack-free themselves. Now, turning our attention to the clash between the Cleveland Browns and the Houston Oilers, it was the Oilers who emerged triumphant with a final score of 30-16. Running back Don Hardman seized the Offensive Player of the Game title, showcasing his versatility with 62 rushing yards on 25 attempts and 53 receiving yards from 2 catches. As the quarters played out, the Browns found themselves scoreless in the first half, while the Oilers built a steady lead with 3 and 10 points in the first 2 quarters. The Browns made a valiant effort to rally, posting 9 points in the third quarter and 7 in the fourth, but the Oilers sealed the deal with an impressive 17 points in the final quarter. Breaking down the game summary, the Browns secured 235 total yards compared to the Oilers' 292. Quarterbacks were hard at work, with the Browns throwing for 196 yards and the Oilers for 206. The ground game proved pivotal, with the Browns rushing for 39 yards against the Oilers' 86. The Oilers held the advantage in time of possession, maintaining control of the ball for 31 minutes compared to the Browns' 28. The Browns suffered 2 interceptions, while the Oilers managed to avoid any turnovers. Both teams displayed solid protection for their quarterbacks, with each team sacking their opponent's quarterback thrice. What a thrilling showcase of skill, determination, and strategy in these 1978 RFL wildcard playoff games. The Giants and Oilers celebrated their victories, setting the stage for the next exhilarating round of playoffs. And now, as we turn the page to the divisional round, the stakes are higher than ever. 4 teams will advance, 4 dreams will be dashed, and the road to the Super Bowl is clearer than the crisp winter sky. Coaches are burning the midnight oil, players are visualizing the game-changing moments, and fans everywhere are preparing to don their team colors and rally behind their favorites. As the excitement builds, we'll be right here, every step of the way, to bring you insider insights, expert analysis, and a pulse on the heartbeats of these monumental clashes. So, let's dive into the action ahead. The upcoming divisional playoff games are set to bring us even more thrilling moments and unforgettable plays. We've got matchups that promise to test the mettle of each team, as they battle for the coveted chance to continue their quest for football immortality. First up, we've got the NFC Divisional game between the New York Giants and the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are coming into this game with an impressive 14-2 record, and they're looking to continue their winning streak. Keep an eye on their starting running back, Earl Campbell, who's ranked number 4 in rushing yards. he's been a force to be reckoned with, and his 13 touchdowns this season are no joke. On the defensive end, we've got Jack Youngblood leading the pack with 11 sacks. The Rams are bringing the pressure, and their 46 sacks are among the top in the league. On the other side, the Giants are no slouches either. They're riding high on a major victory against the Lions, and their defense has pulled in 5 turnovers. Gene Washington, their starting wide receiver, is ranked number 4 in receiving yards, and linebacker Harry Carson is making his presence known with 10 sacks and 4 forced fumbles. Ray Rhodes is a ball hawk, leading the league in interceptions with 5. But injuries might play a role in this showdown. Roger Carr and Ron Mikowajczyk might not see action, while Bill Collar, J.T. Taylor, and John Hicks are expected to push through their ailments and take the field. Moving on to the NFC clash between the Dallas Cowboys and the Chicago Bears. The Cowboys are riding high with back-to-back Super Bowl wins, and they're showing no signs of slowing down. Quarterback Warren Moon is leading the charge, ranked number 10 in passing yards. Their running back, Tony Dorsett, is a force to be reckoned with, leading the league in rushing yards. And let's not forget about Harold Carmichael, ranked number 2 in receiving yards. This team knows how to move the ball. The Bears, though, are bringing their A-game. They've got an impressive defensive line with Mike Hartenstein leading the league in sacks. James Scott and Mike Wagner are making waves in receiving and interceptions, respectively. However, injuries might shake things up. Frank Reed is out, but Jim Hart is expected to take the field with a bruised cheekbone. Dallas' Tony Dorsett might just be the player of the year, and rumors are flying high. Now, let's shift gears to the AFC Divisional game pitting the Houston Oilers against the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are coming off a strong season, with Bob Greasy leading the way in passing yards. Benny Malone and Nat Moore are proving to be pivotal players on offense. The Dolphins have a sturdy defense too, allowing the fewest points in the league. But the Oilers are no pushovers. Quarterback Dan Pastorini is leading the league in passing yards, and Ken Burrow and Don Hardman are racking up the yards too. Their defense is no slouch either, with linebacker Willie Lanier making his mark with tackles and sacks. However, injuries are cropping up on both sides. Don Hardman might sit this one out, but Dan Pastorini is pushing through a stress fracture. It's a battle of wills, and both teams are hungry for a win. The Dolphins are looking for redemption after last year's Super Bowl loss, while the Oilers are aiming to make a statement. Finally, we've got the AFC showdown between the Seattle Seahawks and the Pittsburgh Steelers. These two teams met earlier in the season, with Seattle emerging victorious. The Steelers boast a high-scoring offense, led by Benny Cunningham and defensive end L.C. Greenwood with an impressive sack record. The Seahawks, on the other hand, have standout players like Steve Largent and Mike Curtis. The Steelers have an advantage in sacks, but the Seahawks' defense has proven their mettle by recovering a whopping 26 fumbles. Injuries are playing a role here too, with some key players questionable for the game. Both teams have their strengths, and this rematch promises to be a hard-fought battle. And there you have it, folks, a rundown of the upcoming divisional games. It's going to be an action-packed weekend in the RFL, and you won't want to miss a minute of the action. I'm Lance McAllister, and this has been The Extra Point. Stay tuned for more football excitement.